right, so in that case, we'll get started. I'm sure there are still people coming in because they are still having lunch. The lunch is not done yet. So we'll get started anyway. And so welcome everyone to our panel this afternoon. And the title of this panel is AI in Social Media Entertainment. Entertainment, my favorite topic. So we have four presenters, four papers, and two of the presenters are here and two on Zoom. And I'm just going to, we'll do it in the order of the program. So the first one is by Leiyuan and Anthony Feng. And the title of the presentation is Conceptualizing Social Media Capital, Visibility Management, Sharing Food Photos on Instagram, and Surveillance Culture. I'm going to turn this over to you. So we'll have all the four presentations done and then followed with Q&A, right? Okay.
So good afternoon, everybody. And today our topic is conceptualizing social media capital, food sharing, visibility management, and surveillance culture. And this topic actually comes. Okay. Okay. This topic actually comes from our observations that many people love sharing food photos online, and we want to know why do we share food photos online. So according to existing literature, the first reason that people share food photos is to display their personal taste. And the second major reason to share food photos is to construct their social networks. So each of them respond to one form of capital. So the first is about cultural capital. So if I share some healthy food, that means I'm going on a diet and I'm a healthy person. So it's a type of cultural capital. And the second type of food sharing is about to construct one's social networks. So for example, I have a dinner with Barack Obama. So everyone knows that I'm in that friend circle, right? So it's a kind of demonstration of one's social capital. So So how can people achieve these goals by sharing food photos? Of course, the content of the food pictures matter, right? So what kind of food you consume and what social occasions of the food consumption happen really matters. And in addition to that, the way the content is presented, the food photo shared also matters. So if I post lots of photos at one time, people may get annoyed, right? That's too much. Or if I post 20 Instagram stories per day, that's too much. People may get annoyed, right? And also, if I post the food pictures in a complacent manner, people may regard that, oh, this person is showing off. So that may stop me from, that may not be helpful for me to demonstrate my cultural capital and social capital, right? So based on this, we want to know how people strategize their food sharing online. So we conducted interviews with 21 food bloggers, and we want to know how they share the food photos online. And we find out they use several strategies to share food photos in an appropriate way. So the first one is to make an alternative account. So they build a food account, a second account, especially for food photos, to avoid annoying some of their social media friends. And the second is to use close friends list. They share food photos through these functions to allow only certain of their social media friends to see the pictures. And the third strategy is to use Instagram stories, because Instagram stories only last 24 hours. So it makes sure that those tons of food photos are not permanently displayed on their Instagram page. Right? And the last one is photo editing. So when they take group photos of us of the social occasion of dining, maybe there are too many the background are too with too many people, or maybe the dishes are not very beautiful, so they cut their photo. They do photo editing, or maybe they have like 100 dishes, so they use photo stitching to stitch all the dishes together in one photo to avoid being annoying. So these strategies actually manage the visibility of the food photos in three ways. The first is in the dimension of space. It's a spatial dimension. And the second is time dimension. They manage the time of the visibility of the food photos, right? And the last one is managing the visibility of the food photos in terms of content integrity. So they cut the food photos. They make sure that only certain of the content are visible to their social media friends, to their social media audience. So to conclude, people use different strategies to make sure that their food photos are positively read or accepted by their social media audience. And we conceptualize these strategies or this process with the concept, with the notion of social media capital, which we define as the awareness and the ability to use social media functions, or put it another way, to use social media affordances to negotiate with the expectations of audiences when sharing content online. And we further divide social media capital into two types. The first one is objectified social media capital. That means the sum of resources one utilizes to post acceptable food photos or social media content. And the second type of social media capital is embodied social media capital. That means the awareness to secure the benefits of posting desirable social media content. And to justify our term, I would like to show the difference between social media capital and other existing forms of capitals. The first one is cultural capital. So according to Pierre Bourdieu, cultural capital means a manifestation of one's good taste. Well, social media capital is different from cultural capital because it's the way one uses social media functions. So posting food pictures or social media content in an acceptable way per se can be taken as a type of cultural capital. And different from that, posting food pictures in an acceptable way also means that the audience are likely to accept the contents of the photos. So it helps us to demonstrate our cultural capital. So there is a slight difference. And beside that, there is a difference between social media capital and social capital. So social capital is about one's social network and the benefits you can secure from these social networks. But social media capital is different. Social media capital can help people to accumulate or demonstrate their social capital. For example, if I get the best student award of our conference, and I attend the dinner, and I would like to show these pictures with my relatives, right? But if I attend the after parties and I was terribly drunk and I would take lots of pictures, I don't want them to be shown to my parents, right? So if I can present those pictures in an acceptable way, that may help me to better connected with my relatives, right, or with my colleagues. So here is the difference. And in recent years, many scholars came up with some new types of capitals, and two of them that are widely used are digital capital and technological capital. So social media capital, of course, is different from these two types of capital. First, social media capital, social media capital mainly focuses on the use of social media, not digital technology, not some physical technology. And second, digital capital and technological capital pay more attention to the micro level uses of technology. So they focus on digital divide and things like that. But social media capital is not about macro level use of technology. So it's more like everyday social media use. So here is also a difference. And finally, so why do we need this term? So what does social media capital tell us? Here are two things. First, the existence or the prevalence of social media capital tells us that now we have a new digital social norm in the surveillance culture. So when people post content online or on social media, they always bear in mind that other people are watching us, are watching our content. So we kind of self-discipline ourselves when we post content online. So that shows that now we have a surveillance culture, and surveillance is becoming part of a whole way of life. So it's like a new social media norm that we internalize into our social media behaviors. So that's one thing about social media capital. And another thing is we can see the tension between the social structures and individual agents. So on the one hand, people internalize the so-called social norms in their social media behaviors. But on the other hand, people do not blindly follow these social norms. Because when we discipline ourselves, or when we strategize our content sharing online, we have our own purpose. We want to demonstrate our social capital. We want to demonstrate our cultural taste. We want to make connections with our social media audiences. So we have our purpose. So we want to pursue self-interest. So that means there is always the tension between the social norms and our individual interests. So that's about the old question, the tension between social integration and individual well-being in the new social media context. That's the question that Purdue talked about. So that's why we need this new term. And yes, that's about social media capital. And please criticize.
Good afternoon to everyone in Australia. This is Leiyuan. I'm speaking from London. And today I'm just going to present my master thesis research on AI generated content and political commenting practices on two Chinese user-generated content platforms, Bilibili and Xiaohongshu. Thanks everybody for your patience. So here's a bit of background to my research. Recently, there has been a global surge in public awareness and adoption of commercial generative artificial intelligence, so-called Gen AI. And in China, increased access to Gen AI tools has allowed more individuals to produce and distribute AI-generated content on Chinese user-generated content, or UGC, platforms. These type of content have not only served as digital entertainment, but also facilitated platform users' engagement in online discussions on political and social issues. This phenomenon raises an interesting question. Although Gen AI can produce deep fakes that may destabilize democracies with the threat of mis and disinformation, to what extent does Gen AI also harbor a facilitative and participatory potential, which could translate to a new opportunity for grassroots political engagement in China? To consider this question, I draw relevant literature on alternative political engagement and on UGC. Scholars have noted that ordinary people outside of formal politics also develop forms of playful everyday engagement with politics. This includes humorous political stems and practices that emerge from everyday vernacular cultures, such as internet memes. For scholars who focus on digital engagement, UGC has become a significant research subject. UGC has been defined as amateur production or alteration of content that is meant for sharing. Users who participate in the creation and distribution of UGC are observed to exercise varying types of agencies and degrees of participation in cultural and political practices. So, drawing on the observed phenomenon of relevant scholarship, I propose the following two research questions. First, on Bilibili and Xiaohongshu, two major UGC platforms in China, what types of AI-generated UGC entertainment have facilitated discussions on political and social issues? And the second question is, how do platform users engage with these types of content as reflected in the comment sections of these UGC posts? To answer these questions, I first carried out scoping research using an exploratory platform-based approach that combines keyword search, tracing recommendations on a platform, and examining open forums online to develop a typology of target content. And later I use classification methods to develop the type features of different content. Then I collected a purposive sample of 10 posts for each of the 4 identified types. And these posts are posted between January 2023 and January 2024 for each of the 4 identified types based on their relevance on the type features and the number of comments received. And finally, I conducted a thematic analysis of 4,000 comments received by these sample posts. Using these methods, I identified 4 types of AI-generated UGC entertainment that have facilitated discussions on political and social issues. The first type is what I call alternate history pictures, which depicts what-if scenarios in the history of China. They are usually generated via text-image services such as ChatGPT and Midjourney. The second type is called AI precedence gaming, which uses text-to-speech services such as 7lab to generate the voices of American presidents. These voices are then edited into a recording of a multiplayer video game, with the presidents acting as the off-screen players. These videos are initially transported from international platforms and later became localized and adopted by Chinese content creators. The third type, deepfake satire videos, usually uses face swap tools such as Deepfake Lab to mock non-Chinese politicians. Finally, there's a type of videos generated via text-to-image services that formats their title as the life of somebody. These videos are about different types of people's life trajectories from birth to death, and usually engage with issues of social inequalities. Among the collected data, an example of an alternate history picture is one that shows an elephant-sized pig surrounded by Chinese villagers, which visualizes what a slogan from the Great Leap Forward 大跃进 might look like if it becomes reality. And in a typical AI precedence gaming video, Trump, Biden, and Obama play games together while commenting on American tax policies. An example of deepfake satire video is a video that replaces the face of Putin with Pol Pot in a speech of Putin's. And an example of the life of videos is a video about the poor versus the rich. And the generated images in this video shows that at age 50, the poor sleeps alone on the street, and the rich sleeps amongst luxury cars and models. So this gives you an idea of what type of content there are to represent these different types. And furthermore, looking at the comments that were posted on these different types of content, there are 3 types of political commenting practices that have been identified. The first type is proxy engagement in political discussions, which denotes the use of foreign political subjects as proxies for discussing domestic politics. It is most prominent among comments on deepfake satire videos and AI precedence gaming, where there's a lot of international political subjects to be discussed. For example, many comments used the Cambodian dictator Pol Pot as a proxy to discuss Mao Zedong. A popular short satire or 段子 about Pol Pot, quote unquote, Cambodia is a big country with a population of a few millions, is actually a statement transformed from Mao's remark during the campaign to suppress counter-revolutionaries, 正反运动, in which he commended more executions of enemies within the people in Shanghai and Nanjing by stating that they are big cities with huge populations. A second type of commenting practice is ritual satire. And borrowing from Yang and Zhang's use of Test's definition of ritual satire, I use ritual satire as a way to highlight the communal and social functions of satire, which can distract from its political function. Ritual satire is mainly observed among comments on deepfake satire videos. Using the same example of satire about Pol Pot, users repeatedly comment on Pol Pot videos in the same format of a 段子, even in ways that are only remotely related to the original statement, such as physics is a subject studied by a population of 10 million, just to get a laugh and likes from other users. Finally, many users not only engage with the message of a content, but also the production medium of generated AI. This is mainly observed from comments on alternate history pictures and the life of videos. Users debate the politics of Gen AI around 3 topics: biases, risks of misinformation, and impacts on human creativity. In particular, biases against Asians are frequently identified and attributed to the use of US-based AI services. As the examples provided here says, quote unquote, all Asians in these AI-generated images have small, slanted eyes, and this is obviously generated by an American AI. Also, a mix of positive and pessimistic views are observed regarding the impact Gen AI has on misinformation and human creativity. For example, there are comments saying, be careful, these images might be used by foreign media to smear us. But there are also comments such as, Photoshop already exists, manipulation tools already exist, AI is not posing new threats, don't panic. Meanwhile, regarding human creativity, there are also comments like, disgusting, this is stealing from human artists. And also other people saying that everyone can be an artist with AI. AI is a democratizing tool for human creativity. So these mixture of opinions and the debates that emerge from these comments reflect the ethical and legal ambivalences on Gen AI use. To conclude, the study combines scoping research and thematic analysis to identify types of AI-generated UGC that has facilitated discussions on political and social issues, and also political commenting practices on the platforms Bilibili and Xiaohongshu. 4 types of AI-generated UGC have been identified, which includes alternate history pictures, AI president scamming, deepfake satire videos, and the life of videos. 3 types of political commenting practices are observed, including proxy engagement, ritual satire, and debating the politics of Gen AI. A further step is to understand what the results can tell us about the bigger theoretical question about Gen AI and political engagement. A way to consider this is to contrast the results with the focus of the current literature on generative AI, which mainly concerns harmful practices in spreading disinformation. In comparison, this study highlights the need to consider alternative practices in both the production and reception of generative AI content, and the agencies of Gen AI users in a digitally mediated information environment. So thank you for listening, and here are some resources for reference. If you're interested in discussing the research further with me, please feel free to reach out to me via email.
So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for having us here. I am Zhengyu from Renmin University of China, and my co-author is Tianchan Mao. She is currently on her flight to Australia to join you in a few days. So I'm presenting here. And thank you for reading out our title, Chair. Thank you very much. So our paper tells a story about localizing the platformization. So we kind of describe how these tech giants fit into and change the landscape of the audiovisual industry in China, and also try to generalize our analytical framework of the localization of platforms. So this paper is motivated by some very different patterns of platformization around the globe. So some papers have already called for the need to kind of focus on the local and the regional dimensions. And this study is also related to some theories about the intersection of platforms with traditional physical industries. Take, for example, the platformization in audiovisual industry. Say in Hollywood, the process is mostly self-oriented by those large studios. The studios themselves transform their distribution from offline to online in a more data-driven way, and they also strengthen their creative advantages in their content production. But in China, things are very different because the platformization is mostly originated by these tech giants, say Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent, known as BAT. So each of them control one of the three major audiovisual platforms respectively. And you can see that's very, very exogenous shock to the traditional players. And a little spoiler here is that we find these audiovisual platforms have followed a very decentralized and a user-oriented path, and they grow just like social media. And I guess that's why we are included in this session, because the subjects we are studying are not the traditional term social media, but those platforms, they do grow like a social media. And so we try to summarize and explore the platform features in the case of Chinese pattern. We try to relate this involvement of the platforms and the decline in the traditional industry. And we also try to describe some dynamics in the media production, mostly the drama production. And more importantly, we try to go beyond the case of China and conceptualize the framework for analyzing those local platformization patterns in terms of looking into the interaction between the platforms and the government, the collaborators, and users. Okay, so a quick recap of the literature. So we contribute to the research in the broad topic of platformization, which means driving other market actors to embed into the platform ecosystem. But our contribution is twofold. First, we kind of focus on the features about the platform's interaction, or you see the nexus between the platform and the traditional industries that could be generalized in many localized topic in many parts of the world. And second, we also focus on a case study in China with some insights on the role of, the role of very important tech giants, who are the parent company of some very successful audiovisual platforms. And our analysis is mainly based on two methods. First, Tianchan, to be exact, she collected some insider information from 22 semi-structured interviews with practitioners. The industry workers include movie makers, screenwriters, directors, and managers from the traditional industry, the local audiovisual companies, and those from the platform firms, say Tencent Video and iQIYI. And we also conduct some quantitative, I guess that's analysis. We collect the all drama production data from filings on the website of the Chinese National Radio and Television Administration. That's where say all producers have to register their drama work before putting them on the screen. And we also collected some executive experiences that managers, senior executive experience from the annual reports of iQIYI, Youku, and Tencent Video in order to kind of identify who is making the key decision of the development of these platforms. And now introduces our finding number 1 is a decorporation, which means the diminishing monopoly power of traditional audiovisual corporations in terms of drama production. So the figure here, in the figure here, the green line shows the number of traditional TV drama production over the years, and the red line shows the number of platform drama. You can see this very opposite trend, and it seems that the monopoly power have transferred from these TV production groups to the platform. But the platforms themselves are not really being the new authoritarians or the monopolists. They kind of, according to our interviewees, they actually outsource the production of the dramas to small studios. And in the shooting set, their representative mainly supervises the whole process, while the overall direction of the series has been decided in early meetings, and it has been decided by user data-driven metrics, such as the original work's popularity and the fan group, and whether similar projects had already released have shown very good viewership. So in terms of decorporation, we can show that the production of dramas are more decentralized, not only in terms of who produces them, but also what is produced and how the content is being created. And then is our finding number 2 is also about decentralization, but in a regional or geographical term. We find a more geographically dispersed production units that covers less developed regions and rural areas. So previously, the production of TV dramas is clustered around these three major clusters, that is around the 3 meta cities in China, that is, say, Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen. But nowadays, since the content production is more audience-oriented and decorporated, the production does not rely on single entity or, say, film cities, and they have kind of transmitted to some less famous cities with a probably lower cost. And one of our interviewees claimed that he may even hire actors from non-professional backgrounds. For example, if he's looking for a chef character, he may even approach a real chef instead of asking the film or television company to find an actor for him. So that's how this deregionalization is worked. And this claim also introduces our third finding, is about deprofessionalization. That is, the audiovisual platforms in China have blurred the professional boundaries, while the tech-savvy are taking on more charge, which show that the content production is more audience-oriented, as I have mentioned before, because the creativity upon which professional workers rely on for their livelihood seem to be no longer the most important factor in the film production, while the most important factor seems to lie in, again, user data-driven metrics, such as users' preference, fans' activity, blah, blah, blah. And also, we take a simple look into the CEOs of these platform companies, and most of them hold a degree in computer science or business, and they have just worked in some .com firms or even some financial institutions. None of them are actually related to drama or film production, so they are running the big business as they do to around the social media instead of following the professional consensus of audiovisual industry. And now I conclude our paper with a bit summary and discussion. So in the case of Chinese audiovisual industry, we show 3 very outstanding features. And they are actually all disruptions to the existing rules of thumbs in the traditional industry. They do not only embed the existing market actors, they actually alter the market. So in terms of institution, decorporation changes the rules of power in large groups and the monopolies. And in terms of geographical space, deregionalization changes the rules of regional resource allocation and production. And in terms of, say, industry norms, deprofessionalization weakens the traditional industry's consensus and independence. And we believe such three dimensions can be applied to other kinds of localized contexts with very different political, economic backgrounds around the world, and also to describe how platforms fit in and actually change the existing local landscape, or kind of how do they introduce the logic of social media to more tangible traditional physical industries. So that's all for my presentation, and thank you very much.
Hello everyone. My name is Yu Xue, and my colleague Fan Ai is sitting over there. And our topic today is a case study on AI generated content on China's Bilibili video platform, or let's be precise, it's AI facilitated content. So I'll get started from an introduction of a bit of the background information and video analysis and comments analysis, finally conclusion. So let me introduce a bit about Bilibili platform. It's a popular China's video sharing platform founded in 2009 based on a strong ACG cultural region, and it is nowadays a leading Chinese Danmu video sharing platform. It's featuring Danmu participatory culture and strong user community establishment, and now it contains unique media and cultural attributes in nowadays China's internet ecosystem, so that it has a multitude of high-quality content creators. According to Bilibili first quarter financial report, it has more than 100 million daily active users and 5,000 million video view counts daily. So considering its market size, narrative features, and cultural influence, we chose Bilibili as a case to study on this such research. So firstly, oh, sorry, that gets back. Okay, I'll use the other one. Posture. Let's get back. Sorry for. Okay, so we collect. Oh, I'll use the PDF version.
Yeah, sure. And just resume share.
Okay. Just one. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Oh, thank you. Sorry. Yeah. So we use AI as search keyword and use Python Node.js to extract video information from all 21 categories from Bilibili website. And because of the display limitation, we can only extract information from like up to 1,020 videos like at once. So we finally collect over 19,000 pieces of raw data in total, and so we do the deduplication and filter by hints from uploader Bilibili official, because there's a little hint above the video frame saying that this video is using AI or not. So we use the hint to as a clue to filter out all those redundant information. Eventually, we get around 16,000 pieces of effective data, and then sort those video tags and descriptions and classify video AI usage scenarios, AI usage types, and then extract comments from top 100 view count videos. And finally, we do the word frequency of those comments, word frequency analysis of those comments. So what we find These are the top categories that take most of the proportion in those AI facilitated videos. The top is music category. A second is film and TV category. Entertainment and Guizhu categories, the paralleling in terms of the proportion. Just in case some of you may have not heard of Guizhu culture before, so let me introduce a bit of Guizhu. What is Guizhu videos? So Guizhu is a type of remix videos combining video clips and images with edited soundtracks or auto-tune synthesizer. It can be seen as a bizarre and sometimes overwhelming genre of comedy music videos. And it's featuring repeated images, sounds, and catchy background music. It's targeted to entertain audience with recreated comical puns, tempos, or parodies. And it's gradually becoming a typical type of mashup meme in China's internet culture. So based on this category proportion, let's look into each of the categories. With the classification, we can see the top of the AI, what AI is playing as a role in those videos. So the top 3 types role AI is playing is, the first one is virtual voice cover. The second is real person voice cover, and the third is music making type. So for virtual voice cover, uploaders, they are using AI to recreate all those fan-fictional content so that they can make those virtual characters saying in that case. So for real person voice cover, they are always like fans. They are mimicking voice of those real persons, some usually celebrities, so that make this kind of paradoxical effect of familiarity and alienation. And for music making, instead of those professional music making sounds, the uploaders, they deliberately they intend to make those ironic and experimental music sounds. For example, there is one uploader using a medicine prescription put into Suno AI music model, and to make those funny sounds out of it. So the next is film and TV categories. So the top AI types are face swap, special effects, and animation. For face swap, it's so popular now, but it's kind of controversial in terms of the ethical problems of using one people's face to change it into another one. So and for special effects AI videos, the uploaders, they usually make it use AI to realize their imagined or surreal sceneries. For example, they are using AI to reproduce their dreams, for example, and also to visualize their favorite fictions. And for animation, they are using it to recreate those fan-fictional works out of existing anime works, and also they tend to make those self-making animations. And entertainment and Guizhu categories, they kind of share similar features with the previous ones, but except for AI dubbing is taking like 20% of the portion in entertainment category. So if we put all those types, all those categories in general, then we can see that the top type of AI using is virtual voiceover, virtual voice cover, and the second is face swap, and third is AI painting. Let's skip into the word frequency analysis. So based on word frequency analysis on video description part, we list out 5 top keywords found the most frequently shown in the video description section. So they are AI, video, originals, annotate, and model. we can see from it that those uploaders, in fact, they got this kind of ethical sense of to declare the origins from where the recreated works are coming from, and also they tend to point out which model they're using to train their AI and to finally get their works. Before we get into the word frequency analysis of comments, we can have a look on the comments, the demographic features of the comments first. We can see that from in terms of gender information. In fact, more comments are coming from male than female, but there are still more than half of users that don't want to really expose their gender information, so we can't get that part of the information. But for IP locations, the majority of the comments are coming from China, and 3% of the comments are actually from overseas. It's a low number, but it's quite diverse in terms of it's covering like 74 countries. So now it's the word frequency analysis on video comments. Of course, the top keyword is AI, and surrounding AI, we also find that human technology generate, face swap, and synthesize are the 5 most frequently shown words surrounding AI, and they kind of representing 5 pairs of the paradoxical dichotomy out of it. They are human versus AI, tech advantagement versus tech fear, and automatic generation versus original creativity, fake versus genuine, and robotic, or let's say machine making versus artistic. And because we're so curious, like how these users are actually responding to those AI facilitated content, so we rank all those comments according to how the amount of likes they got. So we have the most liked comment saying that I was resisting AI music, but for this work, even the usage of AI is fine for me. The sound is at its highest level. And the second is saying that the first time to see someone's performance improved by AI face swap. And the third is saying the first time to feel it's not AI replacing human imagination, but human's imagination is misleading AI. And the fourth is saying that thank you for letting me see the warmness of AI as a tool in current era when AI is pervasively used everywhere. So in a nutshell, we can for the uploaders, authenticity and creativity are colliding in the negotiation between self-expression needs and ambiguous technology trends. But for the viewers, they are still getting this cynical attitudes, but at the same time passively embracing AI video content, although they are feared of potential crisis and may get disappointed either with AI or humanity, but they are always looking for creative, good quality content. Thank you so much. That's all for my presentation, and please feel free to ask questions.